Happy Sunday to you. I'm King 5 meteorologist Ashley Ruiz, taking a deeper dive into the forecast because not only are we going to have some heavy rain thanks to an atmospheric river moving in. I'll break this all down for you in full detail coming up, but because of this, we are in first alert weather mode today. It's not going to be a widespread severe weather event or anything like that, but it's enough to at least be a nuisance out there, and we could have some pretty big impacts for portions of western Washington. So we are going to have pretty steady rain, more so northwest of Seattle and then up in the mountains. And it's just going to be pretty, I would say, again, a nuisance, but it could also cause some river rises. Snow melt, minor snow melt, but we are going to have our snow levels climb up to about 7,000 or 7,500 feet, and that could lead to those river rises and avalanche danger. There is an avalanche warning in place. And then after all this, something to look forward to, spring-like temperatures by Tuesday as a ridge begins to build in from the south, record high temperatures. So we have a lot going on in the world of weather here in western Washington over the span of the next 7 days. The big picture right now, this is the water vapor imagery. You see all the blues and it's just moving in to southern British Columbia and western Washington. That's that Pacific, very warm, moist air that's moving in, and that is just going to aid in all that heavy rain threat coming to the region. And so the water has to go somewhere, especially once our snow levels come up to above 7,000 feet, so above our ski resorts. Has to go somewhere. So it's going to fall and it's going to be runoff because we are going to have at least somewhat of a minor snow melt. We're not expecting extremely warm temperatures up in the mountains, at least not right now, but it is going to lead to some of those river rises. 3 to 6 inches of rain expected in the mountains, not just the Cascades, but the Olympics as well. I do want to stress that major river flooding is not expected, not widespread river flooding is not expected. Again, snow levels around 7,000 to 7,500 feet. And as of about 9 a.m. this morning, the National Weather Service did go ahead and issue a flood watch in place for Clallam County. And this is going to be in place at least until Monday. But that river flooding risk is still going to be possible Monday night through early Tuesday until this atmospheric river lets up and that ridge builds in from the south. So rivers flowing off of the Cascades and the Olympics, basically Snohomish County, King County, and then Skagit County. And that's where we could have some of those river rises. In terms of rain totals, just an estimate, obviously we could get locally higher amounts, but this tells the story beautifully, I would say, because it shows where some of the highest rain totals are going to be, where this atmospheric river is going to spend most of its time, the bulk of the moisture of where it's going to be. So Vancouver Island, the coast, and then up in the mountains. And you can really see that from about Stevens Pass northward, where again, these spots 3 to 6 inches. 6 inches, that's going to be more so in the higher elevations and then likely over the Olympics. But I also want to point out, you see the much lower rain totals. That's because of that rain shadow that's set up already over the area, but that's also going to lead to some significantly lower rain chances. So most of the rain will fall today and early tomorrow, but some of you may get pretty lucky and not see much in the way of rain, or if anything, it just might be super light and more of a nuisance than anything. Here's a look at that avalanche warning that NWAC issued. It's for pretty much the entire Cascade Range, at least into northern Oregon. And so they are saying that very large avalanches are possible due to that wet snow and rain falling over the dry snowpack. And so I definitely would recommend staying out of the backcountry, especially today and perhaps into at least early next week. The good news is our snow levels will go back down to about pass level later in the week. But until then, again, first alert weather day today, maybe into Monday, but more than likely no. If that changes, meteorologist Leah Pizzetti tonight will let you know, and then meteorologist Adam Claybon will let you know in the morning as well. So let's take you through the 7-day forecast. Once again, a lot going on. Tomorrow, decreasing showers, temperatures go up, and they go way up. Tuesday, 68 degrees, and that's just for Seattle. Some are going to be even warmer than that. Wednesday, I'm keeping a very close eye on the potential for some thunderstorms, some stronger thunderstorms over portions of western Washington, not just a pop-up thunderstorm from the convergence zone. We're talking perhaps some stronger thunderstorms. Still bears watching. A lot could change between now and then into the rest of the week, we'll have cooler temperatures once again. The radar loop over the last couple of hours, at least as of this morning, you can see that rain shadow. And you see that little donut hole. And so that could eventually open up. It could close a little bit as well, but it still is going to be at least where we'll have the lighter rain totals, the highest rain totals, the heaviest rain. As you see, the yellows, that's over areas to our northwest, over the strait, over the coast, as well as over Vancouver Island. Already seeing that snow mixing to rain as of 10 o'clock this morning up in the mountains. So we're seeing those snow levels coming up already. High temperatures today will be close to normal in the low and mid 50s. It is going to be gusty as well. We'll have southerly winds 15 to 20, maybe 25 miles per hour, but gusting up to maybe over 30 miles per hour. Strongest winds are going to be from about Everett northward, though. Let's talk timing. I know a lot of you want to know about this, so we'll take it slowly. We'll go over it in full detail. So here's around lunchtime, and you see again that little rain shadow going on, more so northwest of the Olympic Peninsula and then over portions of the islands, the Admiralty Inlet. But the heaviest rain still setting up over the Olympic Peninsula, Vancouver Island. You see that there, the oranges, the reds, the yellows. And then into the afternoon, Bellingham, at least maybe along and east of I-5 and then closer to the Canadian border, that's where we have that moderate rainfall perhaps and some of the heaviest rain. Meanwhile, south of Olympia may only have some lighter showers. Here's into late tonight, and we're starting to get some of that moisture sagging more to the south. And then watch what happens as we head into Monday morning. So you see how we're still getting some pretty steady rain, and then it slowly drifts back to the northwest as that plume of moisture is more situated to the northwest. And again, that's going to be the main focus for rain on Monday. It's going to be more so north of Seattle. And then it just kind of stays up there and eventually fizzles out as that ridge builds in from the south. So by Tuesday, we're going to dry things out. Could wake up to a little bit of fog because of how saturated the air will be, and then we'll also have some calmer winds, and so that will aid in some of that fog development. If not that, at least some low clouds, but then it's going to be a really nice day. I mentioned record high temperatures are a good possibility. So the key takeaways with all of this: heavy rain at times. I showed you where the heaviest rain could set up. Gusty winds, maybe 30, 40 miles per hour in some of those strongest locations. Whidbey Island, just the Admiralty Inlet in general, and the coast, of course. Minor river rises. They could be a little on the sharp side, at least at first. We'll see how heavy the rain sets up and so on and so forth, but that avalanche risk as well. Now through Monday, this is when we can expect it and most of the impacts, but the rain favors the north on Monday. And I kind of laid this out for you for possible rain totals. The lowlands, 1/2 inch, maybe up to 1.5 inches, except for those areas shadowed by the Olympics. And I showed you that. Mountains 3 to 6, possibly higher than that, and then the northwestern coast 2 to 3 plus, at least for maybe the central and south coast, going to have some much lower rain totals. Here are the highs I was mentioning. So you can tell my excitement. I'm sure a lot of you are going to be excited as well. Possibly the warmest temperatures we've had in potentially 6 months. And so it is looking increasingly likely that we're going to have some 70s out there Tuesday. In fact, most of the area may at least hit 60 degrees. And you can see that to our north, mid 60s, and then to our south, lower 70s, and some of the computer models are showing potentially even warmer than this. And it's not just here. The mountains are going to be warm, and then eastern Washington also going to be quite mild. Skipping ahead to Wednesday, it's still going to be very warm, but we are going to start to turn more to an active weather pattern as we get this disturbance that's just going to send impulses or waves of energy over the region over the span of a couple of days. And with how warm the air is going to be and we'll have instability in place, that's why it's looking as though we're going to have that potential, at least potential, for some thunderstorms. You have the warmth, you have the moisture, and so instability. And so this is showing that thunderstorm potential. This is CAPE, if you're familiar with some of the weather components and the weather parameters. So that's the available potential energy, convective available potential energy. And you can see some of these greens. That's still on the low side, the low potential of seeing some thunderstorms, but nonetheless, the potential is there. And once again, not just a typical convergence zone type thunderstorm. We're talking potentially some scattered, stronger thunderstorms. So that bears watching. It's not a guarantee. That's why I put storms possible. But as I mentioned, we are going to have weather whiplash, if you will, because we're going to have such big changes in our weather pattern. But starting Thursday, we are going to cool things down, but nothing significant. This is actually where we should be this time of year, in the mid 50s, and then we'll hold rain chances in the forecast. For Saturday, it's looking mostly dry for now, but if that changes, we'll keep you posted. You can always find the latest on king5.com as well as King 5 Plus, where you'll see this extended forecast, and we'll keep you posted this weekend and into early next week. Enjoy Tuesday, and we'll talk soon.